Good afternoon. I visited a farmer's market yesterday, Friday, at near Mission. It's called Deroche Farmers Market, and I spent some very interesting few hours, and I'm making this video to record it to thank the people there, and also to mention some names that I met and some follow-up work that both of us have to do, the people of Deroche and myself, in one particular area, one or two particular areas to do with glyphosate in their environment, and also maybe something to do with politics. So first of all, I have to thank Wendy Bales for inviting me. She used to be an elected politician in that district, and now she's standing for election on the federal level. And she has been a tireless campaigner against glyphosate. She's an organic farmer herself. And she has been fighting tooth and nail to do something to resist this onslaught of glyphosate in their environment. And she has been having a hard time getting her own elected government, as the regional district of Fraser Valley, to at least start testing the people and the water for presence of glyphosate. Testing people was not possible at that time, but it's possible now. And water it was possible to test water, and the government and the hospitals there have all been resisting even to test the water if glyphosate is present. And now World Health Organization has declared that glyphosate is a probable carcinogen, and now scientist Anthony Samsel, who has been studying glyphosate for a long time, has declared that glyphosate is not just a probable carcinogen, it is a carcinogen, apart from being an agent for all kinds of disease. And he does that after studying the safety data that was submitted by Monsanto on glyphosate to register it with Environment Protection Agency, data that was sealed and kept out of circulation, out of view, for nearly 35 years, and now it has been exposed. So, in view of all this information, I intend to ask that government if they're going to sleep on it still, or they're going to wake up and do something. In the meantime, thanks to Wendy Bales for inviting me. I have to also mention Dahlia Simpa, and the group ACES, ACES, that stands for Actively Creating an Exceptional Society. What a wonderful name. Dahlia Simpa is a director, and she has her own story to tell. She owns a hotel, and she has first-hand information of having seen how glyphosate is being used. It's a horror story, and I would look for an opportunity to record her if she's willing to talk on record, and let her tell her story in her own voice. I hope to join hands with her again later on to follow up on follow-up issues, and hopefully do something together to fight this glyphosate off our environment. I am also mentioning a few other people I met. Pauline Albert had a table where she was selling organic soap, which she made with goat milk. I mean, did you know that soap can be made out of goat milk? She doesn't use any chemicals. It's natural, it's organic. And I got a few bars, and I'm mentioning her because she knows folks back east in New Brunswick area where people are sick, and possibly from exposure to glyphosate, to pesticides. And I gave a pamphlet to her, one of my pamphlets, to send it to her, the people she knows over there, to consider testing their urine for glyphosate poisoning. And I hope she will follow up, and I hope to catch up with her again on this issue, and also just wishing her good luck. She's trying to move on to a larger farm, larger plot of land to do proper organic farming. Good luck to her. Dan Halak, he's an interesting gentleman who has actually seen aircraft spraying glyphosate nearby overhead, and he had an outer pond which was connected to the runoff creek, and there used to be frogs there, and the frogs have disappeared ever since glyphosate came into their environment. And he drinks the groundwater from a well, as far as I know, and neither he nor his pond water has ever been tested. And I'm interested to get that off the ground. He should test himself and on a regular basis every 6 months or so, and also the water should be tested before and after spraying to see if glyphosate is getting into their environment, why frogs have disappeared and not coming back. I hope to one day go to his place and look around and maybe even help him collect the samples. So that's Dan Halak. I also met Mr. Art Green. He came there to see me. He is an aspiring politician who is standing from that region, a mission area for the Green Party. So interestingly, he was working before with BC Forestry, and I advised him that this about the story of glyphosate being sprayed, where BC Forestry and the contractors who are involved in logging and weed control and so on, they have some involvement in it, and he should study up on the subject if he doesn't know. And I gave him the link of Kate Story, who is an ag critic of the Green Party, and also to check up on my blog the various videos on glyphosate, including the latest ones from Anthony Samsel, Dr. Samsel. And here's the thing: if he is convinced that glyphosate is bad, it needs to be removed from our environment, and he is representing a riding where people are directly exposed, then I would like to know what he proposes to do. Although it's a provincial problem at the moment, but what he is going to do, representing these people at the federal level, and if he's going to do something serious, then I'm going to be serious to support his case or help make glyphosate one of the main election issue dialogues instead of tap dancing around rubbish subjects, at least in some ridings, including in Mission area. So I wait to see what Art Green will come back with after he has done his investigation on the issue of glyphosate. And then there is this wonderful lady called Sylvia Langman I met and spoke with. She later on came to tell me that the current director of the district, elected director of the district, was also present at the farmers market, and he was, I think his name was Alec Niemi, and according to Sylvia, this gentleman had never heard of glyphosate or that it was being sprayed. It's possible that Sylvia didn't pronounce the chemical properly and used some other name, which is why the gentleman didn't recognize it. Of course, when Wendy Bales was making all this noise, he was not in the government. But nonetheless, I hope that he has actually, he's aware of the chemical glyphosate and the herbicide Roundup and other Mission-Max and various other brands that carries glyphosate in them. I hope he's aware of it being sprayed over the land within his jurisdiction, and that it has been declared a dangerous chemical by World Health Organization and also now many other scientists. I hope that he realizes that Wendy Bales' effort to get this glyphosate at least tested in the waters had been resisted by their government, and now I hope he will do the needful by turning around and initiating a campaign to get this testing done, and also to check what happens after glyphosate has been sprayed. If he really doesn't know what is glyphosate, then I'm ready and offer to help educate him on that. Then I met, I remember, a lady called Heather Morlachi. I'm not sure if the last name is correct, and she also was involved in this affair. I didn't get much time to talk to her. I hope to catch up with her later. And then there is Pauline J. Peters. She was helping out Wendy Bales, and she has access to several bands of First Nation people over there, several thousand of them in fact, and she is considering if I should go visit them and expose them to the truths about glyphosate, and so that they can take a decision of about this chemical being sprayed in their neighborhood. I hope to catch up with Pauline J. Peters again soon, And that more or less brings me to the end. I met many other people whose name I did not ask or do not have with me right now. I thank the farmers market, everybody there, and I hope to go there again to do my bit in following through on issues of glyphosate and also about issues of possible political corruption. I did not mention that, but there is a speculation or suspicion that that major parties' candidates are being selected by using means that are questionable and may even violate some federal law. I would like to investigate this further because, as I said, I think our problem is not about bad science regarding glyphosate. Our problem is rooted at corruption in politics. We have corrupt politicians in our system. I'm not saying that those who are standing for election this time in that riding are corrupt, but a wholesale corruption in our system where known harmful practices, trade deals, substances are getting into Canada and harming Canadian citizens only to help some profiteering companies. That's my opinion, and it cannot be solved by Canadians watching TV and drinking beer and sitting on their couch. They have to get off their backside and boot these bumps off our governments everywhere, not just in Ottawa, everywhere. So that's what I mean, and that's what I am trying to do here. For our democracy to work, we need two kinds of people. We need good politicians in our government, and we need good citizens that will keep the politicians in check. Wendy Bills is a good person trying to keep politicians in check and also wanting to be a politician herself. I hope Art Green will be one like that. But you, me, and everyone else who don't like to be a politician still have a duty to do. We have to keep the politician straight and narrow. Thank you.